Hello, everybody. Professor Barth here, history professor at the great Arizona State University. I love text messaging, right? Oh, yeah, most definitely. Texting in very interesting ways borrows elements from verbal and written communication and then morphs those elements into something entirely unique. To start, texting is not quite as instantaneous as verbal communication. You may take a minute, a few minutes, or even a few hours to compose a message or to reply. And yet, it's far more instantaneous than written communication, including email, unless, again, you are emailing in live time. And very often, a conversation over text will occur almost as rapidly as if you were talking over the phone or in person. That this particular element in text messaging allows for greater spontaneity than any form of written communication. And yet, this is where it really gets interesting. Because texting is not entirely instantaneous, in a sense that you can take some time before you reply, there is a greater ability, like written communication, to consider your words and to carefully craft a sentence with the ability to edit. That's the key. The ability to edit. For example, texting, for this reason, in my opinion, you may disagree, allows for a higher degree of wit in conversation. When you have a few minutes to gather your thoughts, compose a message, edit that message, and then send it off, it amplifies your ability to communicate in a witty manner. This is true whether you are having a lighthearted conversation or a deep or even a philosophical conversation. And to be completely honest, some of the greatest philosophical conversations that I have ever had have been over text, believe it or not. Some of the greatest. That being said, we all know, right? We definitely all know that text messaging has drawbacks. No doubt about it. When we text, we compose things that we might not say through verbal communication. And texting is different because you can edit. In that process of editing, in a rapid back and forth conversation, that process of editing means that you can craft a very interesting and clever message, but in a bad way. Things then begin to snowball, right? In a worst case scenario, things begin to snowball. And then you find yourself in this bizarre situation where both parties are crafting and editing rapid messages and and rapid responses back and forth in a sort of digital jousting, right? I mean, we've all been through this before. And it can be very destructive. It can definitely be very destructive. Why do we tend to miscommunicate over text? Well, like written communication, we do not receive any vocal or visible feedback. But unlike written communication, again, the conversation occurs rapidly. Now, there are ways to convey emotion in a text message, right? The LOL, the smiley face, right? Or the wink. Everybody knows the wink. But my favorite is the tongue sticking out face. That being said, there is obviously no doubt that emoticons, as we call them, do not quite do the trick. Yeah, that's an understatement. They do not quite do the trick as tone of voice or facial expression in conveying emotion. Obviously, there is not a face for every emotion. And even if there was, you cannot place emoticons all over your message, right? I mean, it would become unreadable. It would ruin the entire message. So you can't do that. One other thing I've noticed with the rise of texting is that fewer people are talking on the phone. And to a degree, that's okay, right? Like sometimes we have something quick to say or to ask, and you don't want to call up. You call up, and you don't. When you call somebody, you don't just simply ask the question and hang up. You have to have a bit of small talk, and texting circumvents that. And that's actually a really nice feature of texting, I think. But sometimes I'm in the mood for a verbal phone conversation. And the reaction you get nowadays when you actually call somebody on the phone, you dial their number, and the phone will ring, and you're waiting, and you hear they answer, hello. I was like, you're calling me? Like it's weird or something. It's like, yeah, I'm calling you.